Hello, I'm Dr. Rodney Rock, and this is 3Minute Ed. Today we're going to go through a 7.5-step process for exploring learning environments. This is based on the work of Teaching for Understanding and Making Thinking Visible, and also the idea of Reggio Emilia, which teaches us that the environment is indeed the third teacher. All the way through this process, you will engage your teachers or your colleagues, your thought leaders, in thinking around the environments that they create for learning. Those could be classrooms, they could be virtual environments, offices, boardrooms, any type of place where there's intentional creation for learning. So the first half step is to take your colleagues on a tour of your environment, your classroom, your space, your home, and ask them to state what they notice about what you value, and then to state what makes them say that. The next step is to have them watch this short video about mindset from Carol Dweck. Have them do that as a whole group and then discuss it. And then in small groups, have them read and discuss this quote, which also talks about learning environments. That's step 2. The next step is to have people in small groups read this short article on connecting the brain to the rest of the body. This brings in the cognitive elements of thought processes, really gets people thinking about the brain and the whole interaction of learning. The next step is to have the whole group watch this video on Reggio Emilia. And here, you're just asking them to notice and observe, to state what they see, what is valued. You're not asking them how much it costs or if this could be done other places. You're only seeking for them to notice what is valued and how they know that that's valued. What messages does this organization send about learning, and how does it send them? The next step is in groups of 2 or 3 to have your colleagues engage in chalk talk. And this protocol is noted in the bottom section under resources. The whole process is outlined, where they work together silently to write down their ideas about this prompt, which Ron Richart brings to us. He says, who do you want your children to become as a result of the time they spend in your classroom, school, or district? So long after they're gone, what do you want them to remember, to take with them? What characteristics, what behaviors, what attitudes do you want them to have way after they've left your school? That's step 5. The next step is for them in small groups of 3 or 4 to watch this short video on slow looking and then to describe and discuss the slow looking process and what it means to them. Next, they will use a micro lab protocol for one of them at a time to share a picture of their learning environment, some depiction of their learning environment, ask others to observe that learning environment, for them to sit silently, their colleagues state what they notice in terms of what is valued, and how do they know that that is valued? What evidence do they have? What messages does the learning environment portray? And then there's a moment of quiet contemplation, and then another colleague takes a turn sharing their picture, and so on and so forth. At the end of this entire process, there's a debrief where people reflect together on the process as a whole. They might ask themselves these questions. What kind of thinking did we do? Which new or different ideas emerged? Where did the thinking take us? Which cognitive skills were most helpful in this process? How did we have to think? And then, how might they adjust this learning process in a different environment or for similar use? How might that make it different with their students? I have found that this process in its entirety really challenges people to think deeply about the environments they've created and the messages that those send. It could be a classroom, a whole school, a school district, a website, a boardroom, any type of place that is designed for learning. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my YouTube page, tell thousands of your friends, and share widely. Thank you for caring about children in schools and education, and be well.